Welcome in, everyone. I hope you guys are doing great wherever you're watching from today. We have a big/fun update coming out of the United States military and Venezuela involving photos, troop movements, and the beautiful big B-52 bombers that flew right up to Venezuela and lingered there for a couple hours to send a message to Maduro. We can reach out and touch you whenever you want. Venezuela's responding. Venezuela's taking a couple moves. And the U.S. actually released images from that mission, whatever you want to call it. And it is incredible. It is a beautiful reminder of American power. Before we get started, as always, please make sure to like and subscribe. Totally free. Cost you guys absolutely nothing at all. Huge boost to the channel. Comment with your thoughts below. What do you think about this whole situation? Where do you think it goes from here? Let me know in the comments below. Hit that notifications bell. All notifications turned on. You won't miss a single thing. And then right here, bottom of the screen, Instagram at David_Hookstead, X D Hookstead. That's where you can find me. My DMs are wide open. Reach out with any tips. You guys have been great giving me stories to chase down. I really appreciate it. Now let's get into it. So as we know, the United States flew multiple B-52 bombers, which are capable of carrying 70,000 pounds worth of bombs, right up to the coast of Venezuela. They left Louisiana, crossed between Mexico and Cuba, then traveled further south. They held in a holding pattern for a little bit and then flew right to Venezuela. Now, what's interesting about this is they left their transponders on the entire time because they wanted the world to know. And I was watching the flight tracking data in real time. There were like 30,000 concurrents watching both planes. The world was captivated. There were tons and tons of tweets. Everyone was watching to see what was going to happen. Venezuela then tried to scramble a fighter jet. And at the time, the only planes that could be seen on flight tracking radar were the B-52s. But if you remember what I said there's no way they're alone. They've got tankers with them, and they absolutely have F-35s to defend them. And the reason the Venezuelan jet didn't get in the air until the bombers turned around and went home is because the Venezuelan military knew for a fact that they would have been blown out of the sky immediately. The F-35s would have iced them the moment they got off the ground if they were still there. They left, then the Venezuelans pretended to act tough. So as you see right here, this is the flight pattern. There you could see the big circles they were flying. This was Bunny 02 flying in circles right there off the coast of Venezuela. That's a hell of a power move to pull. That is a great way to remind the Venezuelan dictator Nicolas Maduro just how poor of a negotiating position he is in when you got B-52s flying off your coast. Well, this is really cool. I'm going to put this up on the screen for you now. These are actually photos from the flight. So it says United States Air Force B-52Hs conducted a demonstration mission October 15, 2025 in the U.S. Southcom area of responsibility, demonstrating the U.S. commitment to proactively deter adversary threats, enhance crew training, and ensure the global force readiness necessary to respond to any contingency or challenge. So right there is a big, beautiful B-52 bomber. That is one of the bombers that was on the mission. I don't know if this is Bunny 1 or Bunny 2. I like how they're calling them Bunny. If you're an Air Force guy and you know how they name these planes, please let me know in the comments below. It's kind of funny that a plane capable of dropping nukes is codenamed Bunny, or the call sign is Bunny. Here's a look inside the cockpit of the B-52 bomber right here. You can see it. Obviously, it's dark, but you can see all the gear. So this must have been on the flight back, I would assume, given that it is dark in the cockpit, but I don't know that for sure. I don't want to speculate. Maybe it was super early in the morning, but either way, you can see the cockpit. And then right here, as I predicted, as I said there would be, F-35s right off the wings of the bombers, ready to rock and roll if necessary. You got to protect the bombers. You cannot send bombers up unarmed, unprotected. You got to be able to rock and roll with them. So right there is more firepower in this photo right here, 2 F-35s and a B-52. There is more firepower in this photo than the entire Venezuelan military has. Fact. That's just a fact of the matter statement. You are looking at more firepower here than all of Venezuela. And they really think they're going to step up to the United States? That's what they really believe? Well, that's apparently what they're trying to do. This comes from the Wall Street Journal. and it says that Venezuela is beginning to move troops into position to attack American forces if it comes to that. It says Venezuela is moving troops into position on the Caribbean coast and mobilizing what President Nicolas Maduro asserts is a million-strong militia in a display of defiance against the biggest American military buildup in the Caribbean since the 1980s. This is hilarious that he's still talking about his multi-million person militia, which absolutely does not exist. And it is comical to believe that it does. Nobody believes that BS. It says the strongman's regime has cranked up its propaganda machine on state television, radio, and social media. Announcers are telling Venezuelans that the U.S. is a rapacious, Nazi-like state that wants to dig its claws into the country's oil wealth, but that the Venezuelan military, the National Bolivarian Armed Forces, are positioning to repel an invasion. So they're moving troops to the coast and telling their people that they are going to attack America. They fire one shot at one of our vessels and they are going to get wiped out. This footage is showing militia members, men and women, often elderly, slightly plump Venezuelans, running obstacle courses, crawling under barbed wire, and firing rifles. The Venezuelan armed forces, which military experts say on paper number 125,000 soldiers, are shown in marching formation with troops mounting armored vehicles and moving boxes of munitions around. The country's Russian-made jet fighters are featured in the footage shooting across the sky. I don't know what Maduro is thinking. I do not know what Maduro is thinking. This is not going to end well for him. It ends with him getting removed from power. Now, does he go peacefully or does he get dragged out by his own people? That remains to be seen. But this is not going to end with his guys beating the United States military. Not even close. They are going to get destroyed if it comes to it. And for those of you who didn't see this, I showed this in a video yesterday. Put this up on the screen. President Trump had some comments for Maduro. Let's go ahead and watch those now.
Destroy our healthcare system. We're not going to let that happen.
Have you authorized CIA operations in Venezuela as part of?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but some interesting things are happening around the world. I'll say that.
Mr. President, it has been reported that Maduro offered everything in his country, all the natural resources. He even recorded a message to you in English recently, offering mediation. What should we do in order to stop that?
He has offered everything. He's offered everything. You're right. You know why? Because he doesn't want to fuck around with the United States. Thank you, everybody.
That's right. He doesn't want to F around with the United States. And there's more comments from Trump here as well as Secretary of State Marco Rubio. For those of you who might not know, we blew up another drug boat. There were POWs taken off that boat, the first POWs of the cartel war. They're going to break down exactly what happened here. And we are still getting more information, but we know the POWs are in U.S. custody and were taken to a warship after being on a submarine that was blown up, or a drug sub, a narco sub.
It'd be a great honor to get it done.
On Venezuela, there are survivors from your latest boat strike. What happens to those survivors?
Well, I'll ask Marco to discuss that possibly.
Yeah, it's well known there's an ongoing narco-terrorist operation the United States has been conducting. As far as details of any recent strikes, we're not prepared here to announce all those details, but you'll get that information here very shortly.
And how are there survivors when these are meant to be lethal attacks?
Yeah, again, I mean, we're undertaking these operations against narco-terrorists. That's what these are. These are terrorists. Let's be clear. And but as far as the details of any recent operations, when we are prepared to announce those, we will, as the president has consistently done. So you may get something on that later today.
Let me ask you, that was in a submarine, right? We attacked a submarine, and that was a drug-carrying submarine built specifically for the transportation of massive amounts of drugs, just so you understand. This was not an innocent group of people. I don't know too many people that have submarines. And that was an attack on a drug-carrying, loaded-up submarine. Yeah.
So this is where we are at, folks. This is where we are at. The Venezuelans are saying they're mobilizing their forces to attack America. They're mobilizing their forces to strike American forces in the region. If they do that, we will annihilate them. Pay attention. I don't know if Nicolas Maduro is watching. I'm sure he is. The Venezuelan dictatorship's probably watching me like a hawk. Read my lips, Maduro. Your scumbags fire one bullet at the U.S. military in the region, and we will destroy your regime with firepower you didn't even know exists. You think 2 B-52 bombers off your coast is bad? Wait till you see a dozen B-2 stealth bombers. You're going to look up in the sky. You're just going to get, boom, gone forever. So if they want to play that game, let them play that game. We'll see how it works out for them. At the same time, we got the United States releasing photos of the awesome air power display we showed the Venezuelan government. And I want to make clear, as always, I don't have problems with the people of Venezuela. The people of Venezuela are good people. They are good people who deserve better than living under the oppressive boot of Nicolas Maduro. My problems are with the dictatorship. And the dictatorship's going to be handled one way or another. And as Trump is making it clear, they don't want to F around with us, but they might not have a choice. They offered us everything to surrender, and we just don't trust them. They could go back on that offer at any time. So we're going to do this our way. We're going to do this a little different, and Maduro's not going to like how it goes. But I want to know what you guys think. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think of this whole situation? What do you want to see happen? Please make sure to like and subscribe. Huge boost to the channel. Hit that bell, all notifications on. You won't miss a thing. And then right here, Instagram, David_Hookstead, X, D_Hookstead. That's where you can find me online. DMs are open. Send me information you got. I'll see you all next time.